Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 4th of September. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pear.
And here we are, Gary, on the couch for the start of the spring real estate selling season. And what a great day it is to be here.
It's all happening, Philip. The gardens are in bloom, the sun is shining, and spring is upon us. A very, very busy time for agents. And we're very excited right here at 31A Erica Street, or Erica Avenue in Glen Iris, to be presenting GPTV. And Philip, happy Father's Day for last Sunday.
Gary, thanks so much.
Did you have a lovely time?
Beautiful, beautiful, Gary. It was a momentous day. Did a number of auctions and had a big day actually, but we'll talk more about that in a moment.
Plenty to talk about on GPTV this edition, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, reviewing the weekend. Pretty good weekend. That's 6 out of 9, Philip, which gives us a...
Gary, that's a 67% clearance for the weekend, when I think the industry was 64%. So we've smashed it, Gary.
We've done a 2 out of 3, and in the words of Meatloaf Phil, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad, It wasn't at all. We had some good auctions too.
We had some good ones. Let's talk about a couple of them, Philip. Last week we reviewed 17 LATROBE Street in CAULFIELD South. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes.
The price is undisclosed.
Price is undisclosed, so I'll be very careful what I say.
You should be.
A really nice property, that one, and a really good entry to the market.
Yep.
All I can say is that it was a sub-$1 million property.
Yes.
And we had a young couple that was there interested right from week one, who were victorious at the auction. We passed that property in and negotiated a sale shortly thereafter.
We did, and we're very, very pleased to be able to sell that one right on the corner there in LATROBE Street. The other one, Philip, that we sold, that was probably the auction of the weekend, was the one in LYNDON Avenue or Street, is it, in RIPPONLEA?
Yes, in RIPPONLEA. Great position, as I've talked about many times, so I'm not going to talk about coffee about that property again today. But that was a great auction. We had, I think it was, I counted 5 people bidding for it. There was a couple that even didn't get an opportunity to bid. But we had a reserve there, Gary, of $940,000. We went on the market, I believe, at that price and sold it competitively for $1,091,000. So
that's a wonderful
just
result.
A sensational result. Big crowd, beautiful day for auctions, I must say.
Yep, the feeling really is that there are plenty of buyers out there on the market getting geared up for these last months of the year to be able to secure their purchases in the spring, and some multiple bidders we're seeing out there, Philip, which is good. And I believe some of them gave you a little bit of a hard time on Sunday.
You know what? At LYNDON Avenue, I had to work very hard at keeping emotions in check. And I must say that that's one thing that a skillful auctioneer can do. A skillful auctioneer can bring out the best price and manage the emotions of people that are under pressure during the auction process.
Yes. And what about you? I know what a skillful auctioneer can do.
I managed to keep it all in
together
too.
Very good. And you're hobnobbing out there on the weekend. Very, very social you were there, Phil. You were
very
really
social weekend, Gary.
The Lily and Frank of real estate at the moment.
I've got to tell you, I didn't almost come into the sales meeting because I was so exhausted from the weekend. I kicked off a busy social weekend with Friday night.
The Neuroscience Foundation Ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Gary, when the neurosurgeons of Melbourne and Victoria get together and have a ball, they call in an auctioneer that's obviously similar in intellect to the neurosurgeons, and they called around and came up with my name.
I think you were a bit of a case study for them, actually, Philip. Saturday night I did see you out there though, and congratulations to the big 50th birthday of fellow colleague Michael Gross of Gross Waddell Commercial Real Estate. Had his big 50th birthday.
Who can believe he's 50? I reckon he looks late 30s, maybe early 40s. Energetic, exciting man, and a good friend of ours. So happy birthday,
and to
Michael.
age ourselves, Philip, it was in early 1980s that we worked with Michael. So, and he was residential in those days, but now he's commercial.
And I went to a wedding on Sunday night, Gary, I've got to tell you, just to cap off a busy weekend. And congratulations to Hayley Jones and Colin Sussman, who are now Mr. and Mrs. Sussman, I believe.
Fantastic. Well, we could talk about you all day, Phil, but I don't think the viewers really want to know
anything further. It was a great night,
Probably a bit too much. That's fantastic. And you were late to the sales meeting this morning, Philip, but we won't talk about that either. Let's talk about where we are right now, Philip. 31A Erica Avenue in Glen Iris, to be auctioned this Saturday by you at 1:30. Tell us a bit about this beautiful home.
Well, Gary, this is the most stunning home, built by a builder that we've acted for before, and he's just a man that gets it right every time. The quality, the style, the representation here is sensational. Walking distance to the tram in High Street, and walking distance to the Harold Holt swimming pool.
Do some laps in the morning,
Phil, Gary,
freshen up.
But this is a beautiful property. Look forward to the Saturday to auction this.
Yeah, well, this is it's a wonderful home, and it's really right on the doorstep of Malvern East, and the best streets are around us. And this builder, I must say, ladies and gentlemen, sold for him before, probably does one thing wrong, Philip. He just does too much, because the quality he puts in his homes
he overdoes it, and we mean that in a very positive way, because he puts in far more things than he probably needs these two at the same price.
It's going to be great value for somebody. Another property that we can talk about, Philip, that we're going to auction, and that's on this Saturday at 12:30, and that is apartment 12 at 228 Alma Road in East St Kilda. A fantastic, large, kind of rooftop type apartment. It's beautifully elevated with lovely terrace balcony, and that one's being auctioned by Jeremy Rosens at 12:30. Some other properties to review, Philip, on Sunday. We've got one in Kooyong Road, 232 Kooyong Road, I think.
Yes, on the corner of Edinburgh Avenue, and
Yep.
that is a really charming English-style home with great bedroom accommodation, fantastic formal and entertaining areas. And on a corner, it's just a great opportunity for first or second home buyers.
You'll have the pleasure of auctioning that one. That is on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. in the morning. So have a nice early Saturday night this week, Philip. Not like last week because you were very naughty. Let's talk a bit about the other auction we've got that we want to review, and that is on Sunday afternoon. And that's a fantastic family home in CURRAWEENA Avenue, Philip, at 2:30 p.m. right opposite the park.
CURRAWEENA
Great
Avenue
family home.
is a fantastic and favourite spot of mine.
Yep.
We've auctioned many homes there over the years. They always go well because not only is it opposite a park, but it's got a real community feeling along there. Most of the people that live in CURRAWEENA know each other, and there's just a really good feeling there. So I'd encourage anybody looking for a fabulous standard of living and a community style approach to living to go to that auction and buy it.
Yeah, and it's a fabulous family home. I know they've been there a long time, the family are there, which is also testimony of the home's greatness, I suppose. But this one, you don't need to spend a cent, just move in and enjoy it. So a busy weekend, some fine properties, and spring is here. I guess if you want to sell for 2012, you've got to get your roller skates on and start moving.
Well, the most amazing thing about this, Gary, is that the real estate year for 2012 is rapidly drawing to a conclusion, because if somebody rings us today and says, Philip, Gary, auction my house, the earliest they'll be having is an October auction. But we run auctions right through until about the second or third weekend of December, which really just gives us a bit more than 2 full selling months left, given the fact that if you list today, you're not going to be auctioned until October. So it's October, November, first couple of weeks of December, and then we're straight in to 2013.
Before you know it, frightening. A couple of properties to review that are upcoming, Philip. Both of them happen to be on Sunday week. One of those is at 35B Jupiter Street, Caulfield South. You're familiar with that. Tell us about
Gary.
it.
I want to congratulate the builder on that property because
do that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to. Congratulations to the builder of 35 Jupiter Street, because he has set a new standard for Caulfield South in this style of accommodation.
5 bedrooms.
5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms.
Yep.
The entertaining flow, the actual sheer size of this, it's house size, north-facing rear garden, and I would urge, even if you're not a buyer for this, come down and see what's going on in new building construction techniques, because this is a beauty.
Still time to see that because it's being auctioned the weekend after this. As is another property that we're selling, Philip, at 56 Hodder Street, Brighton East. That one goes up on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. A fabulous double-storey home to be able to enjoy. And I think in Hodder Street, one of your neighbours is Buddy Franklin. I think it is.
Apparently so. Yeah. And if you're a Hawthorn supporter, you know, we shouldn't really be giving Buddy's address away, so we haven't. But if you door knock every house in Hodder Street,
you'll find
you may well find Buddy is there.
We look forward to seeing you at Hodder Street as well.
Now, speaking of Buddy, Gary, I've got an iPad here, and this is completely unrelated to Buddy himself personally, but it is related to football.
So, well, we ran a competition about what competition we should have on GPTV to give this away.
So we are giving away this fabulous iPad, which has been given to us by our friends at realestate.com.
A sponsor, finally.
They've given us something, which is very nice, but
we don't spend enough with them yet.
It's a lovely iPad, and we do thank realestate.com for donating that. But we ran a competition in our office to say what competition should we run for the month of
competition
September.
For a competition.
Yeah, and Ben Rothschild came up with a brilliant idea, of course, to tie it into the grand final. So being football lovers, as you and I both are, the competition is guess the winning margin for the grand final on grand final day, of course.
And the teams that play in it.
No, I don't think, no, really?
The teams that play in it,
So you've got to guess the
teams, who wins and by how much.
Okay, all right.
And you've got to do it this week.
So it's got to be in this week.
That's it, Philip. That's it. Well, it has to be. Yeah.
Well, before the first round of the finals. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a pretty limited competition. We may need a new competition next week if we don't get a flood of ideas. But let's leave it at that. So if you send us in an email this week,
don't go soft, mate. That's what we're doing. That's what it's going to be.
Send us an email this week.
Ideas
at garypear.com.au saying the 2 teams that you believe will play in the grand final and the
who
winning
wins?
margin. Now,
Very much,
should
yeah.
we get no correct answers, I'll just keep the iPad.
We're not keeping it. We're giving it away. We're going to do it now because we are in the finals, and we decided we could have done a racing theme, we could have done a real estate, but thanks to Ben Rothschild, we gave him a prize as well. He's come up with the idea, why don't we guess who's going to be in the grand final, who's going to win, and by how much.
I'm pretty much sure I just said all of that.
You did, but you just sort of fluffed over it, so I'm being
Right,
very clear
okay.
and specific because you
No
said,
problems.
oh, people don't go in. People are going to go in.
Right.
Everybody can have one entry each.
It's a beautiful gift, this too.
We're not doing it so
Yeah.
you can just go and do every combination. Everyone can have one entry. We're going to close it off this week, before this weekend, and we're encouraging
So
our team members.
essentially, the ideas at GPTV, the ideas at garypear.com.au.
Yes, Philip.
Send in your nomination,
Yes.
and we need it by 5 p.m. this Friday.
That's right, 5 p.m. this Friday, and we will be giving it away to whoever gets the closest.
And we've got to add that disclaimer that you see on all of the lotteries. No correspondence will be entered into,
Yes,
and no family members of anybody at Gary Pear and Associates is entitled to win
No
the
rigging,
iPad.
no trolls with any fake accounts or anything like that. That's what it's going to be. It was great to have Sally Zellman on last week.
It was.
Philip.
What a superstar she is.
She is a superstar. We're right into spring. The flowers, the gardens are looking great. We're at a beautiful home here in Erica Street, which we're looking forward to.
And I must
offering
say,
to you.
Gary, with the sunshine out, I've got to tell you, I'm feeling, just
frisky
and excited. I thought I'd share that with you all, by the way.
That's a good way to bring the viewing numbers down at GPTV. We are looking forward to presenting you everything that's going on in the market in spring and beyond at GPTV. A big week in real estate, big time coming up, some great offerings coming up, and some certainly this weekend, which we've had the pleasure of viewing with you, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you same time next week on GPTV. I'm Gary Pear.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.
Bye for now.